And now it's time for Lloyd's Out of Context 911 Lone Star Clip of the Week.
I didn't know you were a gay. I love the gays.
And this has been Lloyd's Out of Context 911 Lone Star Clip of the Week. Now on with the show.
We have opened up our store where now you can get some of our previous limited edition shirts over at our bonfire page by going to this link or clicking the link in the description. We've got our Saul shirt, Lloyd approved, and more. Plus, now for the first time, you can get these great designs by Sean Millington on these cool mugs, too. Check them out over on Bonfire.
Anyone else sitting late in the evening with a nice cup of coffee? Well, it might not be evening where you are. It actually might be a little bit later, or it could be morning where you're watching this. I know that it is a successful Lloyd 911 Lone Star Clip of the Week when in the chat you see, "What was that?" And the keyword has to be that is capitalized. And yes, I've decided that Lloyd would absolutely want the 911 Star Clips of the Week to be seen through to the end, to find out where the story goes. And it had been a while since I'd seen the previous episode. It's the clip that you just saw was from episode 4. So the last one was 3 that we featured before Lloyd passed away, and I hadn't seen the show since then. And I was on the treadmill earlier, and I was watching it on I was watching it on the phone on the treadmill, and the previous episode had ended on a cliffhanger, and I was kind of like trying to catch myself up on it as it was going along at the beginning, and then it hit me. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. So TK and Carlos, they're getting married, but it turned out Carlos had previously been married, but it was kind of this like arrangement type thing. It wasn't like a, real marriage. So then, they met up with the woman he was still technically married to, but had to get her to sign the paperwork for a divorce, but she wanted to get to know TK first. And things seemed to be hitting it off okay there until she was abducted. But it turns out she does have a mental illness, so they didn't know if she was actually abducted or if it was something that she just thought was going on in her head, and they couldn't put it together until Carlos went to the house to double check where she was found to see if there was a serial killer there. Turns out, yes, a serial killer and his mother had kidnapped the woman, and the reason why they were hiding out is that there was a tunnel underneath between the two houses in the nice suburbs. There was the empty house that they found the girl in, and then the tunnel that leads to the serial killer's house, because it was kind of like the writers just saw Barbarian, but cutting out everything that made Barbarian R-rated. So there was no mutant living in the tunnel, but the house looked kind of like Richard Breaks from Barbarian. Just no mutants or mutant breast milk or anything like that. Not that I would have necessarily put it past 911 Lone Star. So the way that this episode opened up was Carlos still being abducted by the mother that you saw in the clip, who it was really cool about Carlos being gay. That's awesome. Where it goes from there is the line that she has right after I cut it off in that clip is she says to Carlos, "I kind of wish my son was gay." Then maybe he wouldn't have abducted your ex-wife. I don't know. Oh yeah, and that was the B plot. The A plot was Rob Lowe and Neil McDonough taking on a biker bar, which they've been doing all this season, this white supremacist biker gang, and they really seem like not the most dangerous gang in the world, because on this episode Rob Lowe had to wear a wire in his underwear, which he called funderwear. I'm not making any of this up, by the way. Which he called funderwear, and he goes into the bar to meet with Neil McDonough, who's working with him. Rob Lowe's a fireman, Neil McDonough's a cop, and they're talking to the gang leader. The FBI is in their truck outside. The gang leader knows someone is a mole or wearing a wire, until Rob Lowe just straight up says, yeah, don't kill anyone. It's me wearing a wire. Then cut to Neil McDonough and Rob Lowe outside the FBI van, where the FBI lady opens up the door, and Rob Lowe's like, oh, they kicked us out of the gang. Well, they got off fairly easy for this murderous gang finding out that they're wearing a wire. Yeah, you're wearing a wire in your funderwear, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And yes, I was watching this on the treadmill earlier because, I had company. We had family visiting last week, which means I was just off my diet. You get in that mindset where you have people who are visiting, so you eat maybe 1 or 2 extra meals. Mainly dessert, because you're thinking in your head kind of my body knows that I got company over, so this doesn't count. And where we live is quite dangerous. I'm not talking about crime or anything like that. I'm talking about dessert. We have a place near us that is just straight up called Cinnaholic. And it's gourmet cinnamon rolls, and they're delicious. You can get yourself a cinnamon toast crunch cinnamon roll, tiramisu, a peanut butter cup, the works. Every kind of dessert they have there. And if you're thinking, well, that doesn't sound like a breakfast place, because it really isn't. Yeah, it's a dessert place. Yeah, they have cinnamon rolls there, but this place isn't even open in the morning. It's not even open during breakfast hours. They know what they are. They know that that you're getting this really, really late at night. Maybe you have company in town and you want dessert. We got another place near us that just straight up has the word cookie dough in the name of the place. And I've been to it, and it's delicious because I love cookie dough. But if that place is closed, it's okay, because Cinnaholic does also, I'm not even kidding, does also sell just little tubs of cookie dough that you just get with a spoon, and you can just get some milk to go along with it, too. They're both just right there in the freezer. So that was essentially my diet. Maybe that's why I'm wearing the same shirt as I did on the live stream. Yeah, I guess I got a little bit of exercise. I said in one of the previous live streams that putting up this beast when I had to stream, I'm getting quicker at doing it now, but it is still causing me a lot of sweat. Could be because the couch is hard. Could be because of the heart attack. Not sure, but I am trying to get some more walks in this week. I always look for reasons to do more exercising. So I remember when I lost a lot of weight 10 years ago, and the motivation for that was before we did the first Cinema Snob movie. And so I wanted to lose weight for that. And then I've kept it off over the years. And we did the second Cinema Snob movie. I was like, I could be a little thin there in the face, maybe lose some of this. So I got a personal trainer for the second Cinema Snob movie. Now it's more well, I know that when it's getting closer to the due date with Laura, there will probably be a lot of pictures of us taken. I'm sure there will be a lot of pictures of us taken afterwards. Maybe I should start hitting the treadmill some more and only eating Cinnaholic 3 times a week. Or maybe I could just get the light cookie dough. Laura will look at me in the pictures and be like, you're fine, stop complaining. Even the cats will tell me to stop complaining. Because the cats got spayed and neutered last week. They're doing fine. For Bert losing his balls, he's doing good. We got home, And it was just like in and out after a few hours. We got him home, and Bert was just running around like nothing happened. Like he still has his little testicles. He's just running around like he was kind of playing with Pearl. Pearl's the one, she's got some stitches, which means she's wearing a little vest right now, and she's wearing a little, like a nice little sweater, so that'll keep her from gnawing at the stitches, and also give Bert a couple of laughs. He lived like, ha ha ha, look at you, you have to wear that sweater, I don't have to wear shit. Oh yeah, well your balls are gone. Oh, is that what happened to me? Yeah, it is, dude. Yeah, you'll be alright. I'll give you some treats. That'll make up for it, won't it? All right, well, we can, as you can tell, we've got an action-packed show going on right now, in that I've only got one movie to review, and that's the Robert Rodriguez cop thriller Hypnotic, starring Ben Affleck, and that was the Monday mystery movie at Regal last night. And I was right about this. Like, it's the second one that I've gotten right. I think there's been maybe... Has there been 10 of these mystery movies now? There's another one in a couple of weeks. It looks like they're starting to do it like every other week now on Mondays. So I was right. Like I looked ahead, but even if you look ahead on Regal, you might not even necessarily see what they're going to show as their Monday mystery movie, because I've gotten Monday mystery movies that like did not go to our Regal when it got their actual release dates. Sisu didn't go to Regal. I don't even know if Greatest Beer Run ever even went to a lot of theaters around here. I think that Spirited maybe went to our AMC, so it won't really help you out if you look ahead a couple of weeks over at Regal. So there was two that I got right. I correctly guessed that it would be Hypnotic, and then unfortunately a few weeks ago I guessed it would be Mafia Mama. Stay tuned for the review of that to find out if Hypnotic is better than Mafia Mama. It is, but stay tuned for the confirmation. But since I've only got one movie to review, I do have some stuff for Brad try, some stuff that I have been looking for. There is the new Mountain Dew, which is Mountain Dew Summer Freeze. And also, if you've been watching this the past few weeks, you know I've been looking around at Walmarts for these. My Achilles heel, it is movie theater popcorn. And now you can get, oh sure, they've had movie theater popcorn, quote, at stores for a long time. It never tastes like movie theater popcorn. Let's see if this being released by an actual movie theater will make it taste more like movie theater popcorn. If it doesn't, I'll just dump a cup of salt inside of it and some French fry grease or something. That's what they use as oil and butter, right? I should know. I managed a movie theater about 20 years ago. Also, what I wanted to... Oh, and we will be doing the Tox Box as well. I know we didn't do the Tox Box last week because I already had a movie pick that I wanted to do on the Cinema Snob. So, towards the end of the show, we'll pick out our choices for what the... Not the Cinema Snob coming up this Monday, but the one after. And next week, it'll be over on Patreon as well. I'm actually sitting here around, because I've been editing the April part of 1983 in film earlier, and I had to write in why there's like a location change. Like 90 minutes or an hour into the episode, because there's some leaks going on over at the studio. So you might have noticed that with like the Snob episode I did on The Burning, the one that Stage Fright was shot here. So I went over to the studio to grab some stuff, and I did shoot like a little thing at the beginning for the April portion of 1983 in film, where I put in these green screen like it was like leaking from the roof, and I said, why is this happening? Luckily, that month, the batch of movies that particular month, one of them is Flashdance, so it makes sense. The water scene from Flashdance is going on right above me. Here's the thing about that clip, though, that I shot. I accidentally forgot my camera at home, so I shot that clip on my phone. So that little clip is probably the most clear footage you've seen of the Cinema Snob in one of these episodes. And it's a clip where I get up and leave and come back here and finish it up. Where it's shot with my regular camera, so it's not shot on VHS, but it might as well be. I had to bring my 1983 VHSs back home with me too, because I don't go anywhere without my VHS copy of The Hunger and Lovesick and Star 80, all the uplifting classics I got sitting over there. So we will be doing a Tox Box towards the end of the show, and also answering your super chat questions as well. We'll do that towards the end. I already see that we got a few in there, so thanks a bunch for watching, everyone. And I do want to give a shout out real quick. I talked a couple of weeks ago about my book is now in the developmental editing phase. So my goal is for it to still be released in early summer. This is my book, Class of '86. And I want to give a shout out to the book's editor, whose name is David Yurkovich. And I got he's a cartoonist, he's a penciler, he's an author. He's done a lot of really cool stuff and a fun guy, and I'm so lucky we came in contact with each other, because the fixes he's making and just the tweaks and the notes and all of that have been fantastic. And you can find more of his stuff over at Yurkoverse.com, as well as the horror imprint sites as well, such as Devil's Party, where you got books, anthologies, different author services, editing services. Same with Gravelight Press as well. He's been a really fun guy to talk to, and it's, as you can see, it is also my first time doing the showing the desktop like that as well. I'm learning little by little every single episode. Which is also taking extra swigs and coffee when I'm promoting stuff. So I only stumble across my word half the amount of time. But no, it's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. We shoot each other messages every day about, he'll send me like batches of episodes, and we'll start talking about like the Arch Deluxe, the McDLT. That's when I know I've found my people. When you bring up the Arch Deluxe, the McDLT, also some Trauma films, and a nice Meatballs reference as well. No, he was, like I said a couple of weeks ago, he was, when I was looking at different editors, developmental editors and everything, he was the one where I was like, I guarantee he's seen like all the movies that I'm like, the different types of movies that I'm combining in here, from like 80s sexploitation movies, high school movies, post-apocalyptic movies, slasher movies, like trauma movies. It is like just one big like trauma film crossed with like Italian post-apocalyptic stuff, things like that. I'm like, this guy will make this even better. And then when he was the first one to write back, I was like, sweet, yes. So check out his website, Yurkoverse.com. Also the horror imprints I put up as well. Okay, well, we might as well start talking about let's get the movie review out of the way first. Am I hungry? Do I want popcorn? Or do I talk about the movie and then get to popcorn? Okay. So it kind of worked out that the movie Hypnotic was the one that I was reviewing, because the episode of the Cinema Snob that I'm working on this week is a Godfrey Ho movie, and it was the remaining Pierre Kirby movie that I had to talk about, which is a movie called Crackdown Mission. Now, let me tell you the plot of Crackdown Mission. Now, Crackdown Mission is a movie that half of it, not even have like 70-80% of it, is from Taiwan, and it's a remake of Ms. 45 that was made in the early 80s. I think this remake was in 82, Ms. 45 was 81. Now the Godfrey Ho stuff, the Pierre Kirby scenes that are inserted into this already existing movie, has to do with Pierre Kirby, who plays a cop, Officer Neil Brown, who is after this cult of devil worshippers who are all also psychiatrists. They're psychiatrists who they worship Satan, and they get girls under their hypnosis to kill people for them, and I guess that appeases Satan. I'm not really sure. And that ties into the Miss 45 stuff in that they try saying that she is under the spell of the devil-worshipping psychiatrist. Let me get all this right. The devil-worshipping psychiatrists who, again, just proceed to make her do the events of Ms. 45. And it makes total sense that that's the movie that I watched before going to see the Robert Rodriguez movie Hypnotic. That wasn't just me going on a tangent. That was me saying, no, it felt like an appropriate double feature, to be perfectly honest. Now, this is a cop thriller that's starring Ben Affleck as a detective who faces his biggest challenge. As if it weren't enough that it's William Fichtner committing crimes, Fichtner appears to get into people's heads to get them to do whatever he tells them, whether it's robbing banks, having someone killed, or dancing around in your bra because you think it's too hot out. I do like this combination of a 90s cop thriller with what could be the plot of a really gimmicky early 60s horror film, like The Hypnotic Eye or something like that. Something tells me if Rodriguez could go the full William Castle gimmick on this, he would. Hell, before the movie even started, there was Robert Rodriguez was like there to introduce it, but he wasn't on camera. It was just his voice. It was the voice of Robert Rodriguez telling us, welcome to this early screening of Hypnotic. There are a lot of twists and turns in this movie. Now be sure not to spoil it. Keep all of these twists to yourselves. Do not tell anyone out there the haunting numerous twists of Hypnotic. You know what else this is? If it were written like 25 years ago, it would be a script that Dimension Films would pick up and have someone insert Pinhead into. I'm just saying, it could have been one of that era of Hellraiser movies that just a few tweaks could make this a Hellraiser movie. I had some issues with it early on, this one. And those Hellraiser movies too, but also this one. I had some issues with it. Like it's one of those that you can probably tell even by looking at the trailer, it's got a very generic like cop thriller score, like that kind of like action sort of. I don't even know if I'd call this a serial killer movie, but it's a cop thriller. It's got that. It's also got like a really common tragic backstory that you see with the Ben Affleck character, and also some weirdness with locations. But I will say this, with a few of those things, with what I said about some awkwardness with some of the locations and even the backstory, that all does kind of factor into a lot of things later and is explained a bit better. So I'll give it that. With that stuff, I started not having much of an issue with that as it went along, because it was at least setting up for something. For the first half, I was going along with it until it does reach a point where I just lost track of whatever rules the hypnotic powers are, if any. I don't even know if there are any rules here. The power is basically just allow the villains to do whatever they want as long as it serves the plot. It can be some Inception-like power. It can be like he's a comic book villain or hypnotizing someone into getting you coffee. And there are twists, sure, but I don't know if I sat there surprised necessarily, because it all seemed like the kind of thing that would happen, or that it was just kind of making up things as it goes along. Whenever I see a movie like this that just has that many turns, I always think of this movie years ago. Do you guys remember a movie called Basic? It was a John McTiernan movie with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. That was another one where it was twist upon twist upon twist upon twist, to where it reaches a point where you're kind of where you're kind of like, I don't know if this makes sense anymore. Maybe it does make sense. Maybe it doesn't. But it's just so far gone that I don't know if I should question it or not. But not even in a way that's doing it necessarily clever. Just more so, it just keeps taking all of these turns, and you're just along for the ride so much that it almost feels unnecessary to ask the Uber driver if he knows where he's going. So I will say this about Hypnotic. It's probably the better adaptation of Firestarter that I've seen in the last couple of years. It was better than the one that came out last year. So, yeah. So by where the movie ended up, I had kind of given up by that point, honestly, in really trying to figure it out or going along. I was kind of waiting for it to end. I mean, it wasn't boring, I'll give it that. But it's a C. It's nothing you need to go out and see. I'm sure Rodriguez had fun writing it, but the more it went on, the more frustrating it gets. It is perfect, though, for a Friday night rental, where maybe you order some pizza, you throw something on like this, it'll be fine for that, especially since the movie is only about 90 minutes long. Oh, it was a quick it was a quick Monday mystery movie, so that was nice. Like I said, it's kind of fun guessing what the reviews will be like when one of these comes out, because these are out a couple of weeks in advance, and there's always, even though you might say something is really, 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 really bad, like Mafia Mama, there's always maybe that 1% part of you that is like, Am I going to be an outlier on this? Am I going to be the only one who doesn't like this movie? But I don't think I will be, but I really don't see Mafia Mama getting that good of reviews. And it didn't. This one, I don't think it's a bad movie. I'm also not... I could be wrong. I'm not anticipating it'll have that great of reviews. Maybe not as low as like Mafia Mama. It's better than Mafia Mama. It's... As far as like Ben Affleck movies that involve banks, it's not. Think less The Town. The Town is great. Think less The Town and more like the John Woo movie Paycheck. That's kind of what this is. Even that, I don't think it was a bad movie. Just kind of mediocre was all. Okay, what do you say we get to couple of Brad tries items here. I'm eyeballing this Summer Freeze. I think even when I promoted this earlier, I accidentally called it Summer Breeze. I was doing that with their last blue drink too. It's like Shark Bite, I think is what it was called, and I was probably calling it like, I don't know, Shark Tail or something. I don't know. It's one of the blue ones. Every year, Mountain Dew comes out with another blue drink. There was a Shark Bite was their blue one. Voltage is out there. Eventually, they will release one that is just simply called Mountain Dew Blue, and it'll be a mixture of all their blue drinks put together. That's not an unrealistic thing to happen. Remember Mountain Dew SA? That was for red, white, and blue. It was a mixture of Code Red, Whiteout, and Voltage. So Mountain Dew Blue might be something. I am all for with it being called Summer Freeze. I might still call it Summer Breeze. I don't know. I am all for my sodas being named after classic songs from Seals and Croft. Give me Mountain Dew Diamond Girl, Mountain Dew Fooling Around. If this tastes any different than Shark Bite, I don't know. It might. But it tastes... I'll give it the... Like, okay, so whenever I try something that's Mountain Dew that's blue, I can't remember what Shark Bite tastes like. And it's honestly been so long that I've had Voltage that I don't even remember what that really tastes like either. But every single one of them, I do know this, they do taste blue. This tastes blue. for something where the taste isn't even for blue things. Like, there's some raspberry in there, some citrus, I taste some lemon in there. It's not a bad summer drink. It's fine. It's just, maybe it's all the sugar that gives it that blue taste. Oh, that's what it is. Because sugar, again, not a thing that's blue, but it does have a distinct blue taste to it. See, and it's already kind of confusing for me to even have a summertime drink like this, because we're not really even in the summer movie season, or summer movie. Well, all year long is the summer movie season, even January nowadays. No, we're not even in the summer weather season out here. We're in the crapshoot season, where you go walking outside one day, it might be kind of hot out there. Go walking out there the next day, suddenly it's really chilly. So I just take my jacket and hat with me wherever I go still, even if it's hot outside. It might not even be that hot outside when I first start walking out there, but maybe halfway through my walk, I might start sweating. Again, like I said earlier, could be because of the heat, could be because of the heart attack. Given that I'm about to eat this AMC popcorn right now, it might be the heart attack. My stomach is freaking out because I like having a snack at the movie theater that lasts a long time. I like eating something during the movie. I don't like having something quick that I'm just going to finish, hell, even before the trailers start. So I stopped by to get this. This is available exclusively at Walmart, but like a lot of limited edition things that they release, it won't be in the section that you think it's in. Oh, no. You go to the Walmart popcorn section, it's not going to be there. You go into the chips section, it is there, but not even where the bags of like the Cheetos popcorn are. Just another like random part of the aisle sitting up there with the big AMC logo looking right at you. You go when it's a limited edition thing, you've really got to search down every single aisle at the store to see if it's there. I haven't even found the icy cereal yet, but for all I know, it's there. It just might be in the bread section for all I know. Okay, so I had to stop by there on my way to go see Hypnotic the other day, and I had this in my bag in my bag when I was walking in, and I'm thinking in my head like, well, will they kick you out of the movie if you're actually bringing in movie theater popcorn? I mean, they might, because I saw it at a Regal. Oh, what's wrong with our popcorn, asshole? No, nothing. This is for later. This is at home. I'm still going to buy the popcorn that's over there at concessions, and I did. I'm walking in there with a bag of AMC store-bought popcorn in my backpack, yet I still go to concessions to get the Regal medium popcorn that I could have throughout the whole movie. And I couldn't eat this. I need this for work. So what I'm doing right now. You can get it microwavable as well. Again, if they had the microwavable box kind of this, I didn't see it, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Let me set you down for a sec so I can open this up. That was embarrassing. As you can see, I haven't worked out in a while. Okay, well, I mean, the bag's open, right? There's no dignified way to eat store-bought microwave popcorn. You might as well just open it up with your teeth and on the side. Well, I guess smells kind of like it, I guess. See, I am an expert on movie theater popcorn. That, again, is why my stomach is terrified. Don't worry, I won't be... don't worry, stomach. I'm not normally going to be... It's bad enough I have this as much as I go to the movie theater. I don't always get popcorn at the movie theater because I'm at the movie theater a lot, but I do get it more than I probably should. Okay, well, it is that distinct oil yellow. It does smell a little bit like it before you put the butter on it to where it spills on the floor and it melts right through the floor and down into the basement. Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-mm. You know what I hope this is? I hope that, because I worked at a movie theater a long time ago, and we used to, have the garbage bags full of popcorn that we just would take home at the end of our shift, or we save them for the next day for the morning rush of people going in. I joke, but I am usually that morning rush right now. I hope that there was just a landfill somewhere of bags and bags and bags of uneaten movie theater popcorn, and they had no idea what to do with it. And they're like, we got it. We put it in a nicer bag, not a garbage bag, make it very difficult to open. There'll be some idiot in the Midwest who will go on camera and eat it. No, this is fine. Like, it doesn't have the butter, which I believe if you get the microwavable kind of this, it actually does come with the butter topping. I gotta be specific and not say butter. It's buttery flavored topping. That is what our jugs of it said. Again, that's 20 plus years ago. I'm assuming it's still the same thing. It tastes exactly the same. No, they have... It tastes like... It does taste like when I bring home some popcorn and there's still some of it left the next morning. Now you can go to the store and get it. And it's probably cheaper than if you were to get the same exact portion there at the movie theater. All right, I'm gonna give my I'll give my stomach some. He's very terrified right now. He's worried that I'm gonna finish off that whole bag. And I could. Doug says to me, I don't know how you do that. Like, eat a whole medium or a whole large of that stuff. My wife says the same thing, too. She's like, my wife's like, I have a handful of that, and I'm just wrecked the rest of the night. I go, oh, no, I polish off a medium or a large. Oh, no, I'm good. It's the next morning that the buttery topping leaks out of me. So if you dig movie, if you're the type that does buy like the previous movie theater butter popcorns that they have at stores, and you just kind of buy it because it says movie theater on it, even though again it doesn't really taste like it, well, you'll like this because it really, really does. If you dig AMC popcorn, hey, you want some of this laying around for a nice movie night. Like I said earlier, this would be a very, very cozy thing to have if you're watching something like Hypnotic, which is a totally rental of a movie. You get yourself, just like, have your own movie theater experience with that. And some summer freeze right on top of it. No, this is fine. Like, yeah, it's fine. It tastes like every other Blue Mountain Dew drink. I can't remember if I recommended it or not. Sure, it's one I'll have once. I'm good. All right. What do you say do we get to the questions first, or do we get to the talks box first? You know what? Let's go ahead and do the talks box here. Now, what the talks box is, if you subscribe to us over on Patreon at patreon.com/thecinemasnob. You can do lots of things over there. If you're a top tier contributor over there, that's where you can request midnight screenings episode for movies for me and Jared to watch. We had a couple recently. Did one on Rock Dog 3 and the Lucio Fulci movie Demonia. That's in a couple of the podcasts that we just did here. And you can also there's AMA sessions over in the comments, like text AMA sessions that we do over there. You can see early viewing of Cinema Snob episodes. I believe tomorrow I should have up the April of 1983 in film section of that episode. And you can also take part in polls for upcoming Snob episodes. Now, this Monday, Crackdown Mission will be the Snob episode, but for the Snob after that, which you'll be able to see early viewing on Patreon, that's what we're going to decide right now. Lots of choices still in here. And if stuff loses in previous weeks, they go right back in the Talks box. We have slasher movies here, as you've probably noticed, because slasher movies have won the last couple of polls. We have slasher movies. We have some goofy 60s flicks, some drive-in flicks. We got some Skinamax movies, some 60s nudie cutie movies. So what's it going to be this time? We got to pick out 4, and we get to the stock 5th choice. Hang on. Whoop. I didn't drop any on the floor, did I? Oh, no, that's... Give me 5 minutes. I will make this floor look exactly like a movie theater floor. Okay, here we go. We've got... Oh, okay. I was wondering if this was ever going to pop up. Left Behind 2, the sequel to the Kirk Cameron one. Now, I've seen... Whenever they try rebooting this franchise, which is like every other year, I've seen those. I've seen the Kirk Cameron one. I have seen the Nick Cage one. And I saw the Kevin Sorbo one recently. Neil McDonough was in that one too. And so I've not seen the sequels to the Kirk Cameron one. Oh, right. And there was a YA one too that was like trying to ride off of like Twilight and Hunger Games and shit. Yeah. It was like Left Behind Next Generation or something. And the best one is still the Kirk Cameron one. But I haven't seen Left Behind 2. That's what this choice is. It's got a subtitle to it. I can't remember what it is. What is it? Tribulation Force? Is that the second one? And the third one is World at War, I think. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. I'm glad that one finally made it onto a poll because that's been in the Talks box for a long time, and I don't know if it's ever been picked as a choice. Okay, I know this one. Now this is a slasher movie, but it's gonna sound like a Skinamax movie because it's kind of both actually. This is a movie called Bikini Island. Now I had Cinemax growing up. So I saw the Skinamax movies, your Shannon Tweed movies, your Shannon Weary movies, and the bikini comedies like Bikini Car Wash Company, Bikini Drive-In, Bikini Summer 2, Bikini Car Wash Company 2, and there's this one, Bikini Island, which was about... It's a slasher movie about these models who go to Bikini Island for a photo shoot, and then there's someone going around killing people with a plunger. That's what I remember the most about it. I think I went into it not knowing it was a slasher when I was a kid, but figured it out when someone was asleep and another person put a plunger on their face. That's Bikini Island. That one. It'll be a trip watching that one again, man. I haven't seen that in 30 years. Okay. This one made a poll on a previous one that we did. This is from 1961. This is a movie called 5 Minutes to Live. It's one of the few movies Johnny Cash acted in, and he's the bad guy in this. He plays like a killer who takes a woman hostage. I spotlighted it a little bit in 1961 in film, and I had to write it down and be like, a thriller with Johnny Cash as a murderer, and I believe the alternate title is Door to Door Maniac, and I wrote like 5 live on here. And when I was going through when I was double checking all the choices that I had in here, I saw this one sitting there, and I was like, 5 live? What in the hell is 5 live? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, what the hell is even? And then I look at like my list of like stuff that I've wanted to do on the Snob, like 5 Minutes to Live. That's what it is. Okay, so that one's got another chance to be picked as an episode. I think it came in like dead last on when it was picked as a 1961 episode. That was the week that Mask 3D won. Demons. Right on. Well, that. It works out a week after Stage Fright. I just put up the Stage Fright episode the other day that was directed by Michela Soavi, a protege of Dario Argento. We got Lamberto Bava's Demons right here. Well, it's also produced by Dario Argento, with a cameo at the end by Bob from House by the Cemetery. Made a reference to him earlier, too, in 1983 in film, because he's in New Barbarians. So those are your 4 choices right there. And the 5th choice, the 5th choice right here, I don't know if it'll win this, because these are some good choices we got for the other movies. But the 5th one, the stock 5th choice, Something Short of Paradise, the 1979 rom-com with David Steinberg and Susan Sarandon. Maybe it will win this one. I don't know. This one's tough. I have a feeling, I do have a guess of which one might win, but I don't want to say it. I will when the poll ends, then I'll go ahead and say which one I thought would win. And I'll be honest too. I'll be honest. I won't be like, knew it. All right. So those are your choices. Once I finish the live stream tonight, just head on over to patreon.com/thecinemasnob, and the poll will be right there. If you're that's a one where if you're to vote in these polls, you just got to be any kind of contributor over on Patreon, and you can take part in the polls. All right. Before we get on out of here, let's go ahead and do the super chat questions. I got a few waiting here, and I won't keep you guys up too much on this Tuesday night. Okay, this is from Drunken Buddha, who says, ever try the chicken Big Mac? We have it here in Canada. No, I haven't. I did see where that was something that was going on over in Canada. There was the chicken Big Mac. No, we don't have those here. Although, if I ordered on DoorDash, maybe I could, switch out the patties or something and do a chicken Big Mac that way. I would absolutely try that out. I also want them to bring back the, what did they call the Grand Mac? That was the giant Big Mac. That was good. And then there was the Little Mac for if you're driving while training to fight Mike Tyson. You can have the Little Mac. No, I love the Big Mac. The Big Mac is freaking delicious. Like one of the most perfect sandwiches ever made. Variations of it, different concoctions, I am willing to try. So I hope here in the States they do that sometime. Let's see. This is Hello, It's Me. Says, hi from Des Moines. Saw you wearing a Fongs t-shirt and an old Brad tries. Did you enjoy your time in DSM, and what did you think of Fongs? Fongs is really good. That was when I tried Fongs when I was doing a Wizard World out there. This is when I was under contract with Wizard World and did a bunch of shows that year. It wasn't that long ago. And one of them was, we did one in Des Moines. And me and Jeremiah and some of my artist buddies, they were the ones that told me about Fongs. And we went there after one of the shows. We went there afterwards, and they're like, you've got to try Fongs. It's this Chinese food fusion pizza. Try the crab rangoon pizza. Try the General Tso's pizza. Oh, we did. We got a bunch, and that place is great. I made sure to get a t-shirt when we left that place. I want to do another convention in Des Moines just so I can go back to Fongs again. There are times when doing a con where it'll be like, dude, you know where we're going. Like when we do this con in Ohio, you know where we're going Saturday night. Yeah, we're going to Melt. I'm going to get myself that meatloaf grilled cheese sandwich again. All right, Senor Stick says, So one day, Brad reviews and perhaps scones. Is that code? Oh, I guess I could review a scone. Depends on what's in the scone. If it's a scone at the state fair, which means it probably has crawfish in it, that way I would absolutely try it. Thanks so much for the super chats, everyone. This is from Rai Hay. I would love to see you review the New Zealand 1999 show, The Tribe. It's like a fever dream. Well, if it's called a fever dream, I am down. That is every other movie I talk about in 1983 in film. One of the ones earlier I talked about in 1983 in film was Liquid Sky, followed up right away with Rock and Rule. There's your March of 1983 double feature right there. Make it a triple feature, because at the end of that month was Tony Scott's The Hunger. All three awesome movies, and I'm going to whatever movie theater is showing that triple feature. So call something a fever dream, I'm there, man. Yeah, I'll check out that show. I don't know if I'll have time to review it, but I'll check it out. Campbell Zilla says, did you ever see the completed version of Grizzly 2 that was officially released a few years ago? I did, and I was on Double Toasted to review it with them. I got a story about that, too, about that Grizzly 2. Suzanne Naj, who was the producer of it, when I reviewed the work print, the leaked work print that you could find at conventions and everything, when I did a Snob episode of that about 10 plus years ago, I think, she wasn't happy. She wasn't. She wanted it taken down and everything, because she didn't like that work print was out there. So I did end up taking it down, and it's never been on my channel since. It's on some other channels, people's channels, but before she released that completed Grizzly 2, which was weirdly shorter than the work print. I don't even mean that it would be shorter because one's a work print. I just mean it did seem like there was more usable scenes in the work print that weren't used in this, and I kind of remember it flowing a little better too, honestly. That's the weird thing about that work print of Grizzly 2, is that for the most part it kind of is playing like a near completed film, except they just need to add the shots of the bear in it is all. You just need to put your bear in Grizzly 2, then you got something. Then it gets to the last scene where he's going crazy at the concert. Then it was choppy, and it was like I was just watching B-roll of a bunch of different action scenes. But before then, it was kind of moving along okay. They had a stock soundtrack in it that was like a lot of Michael Jackson music. So all of that is, of course, taken out of the completed version, and I think some of the band practice scenes too, some of the concert songs as well. She and I got to talking a few years ago. She's actually pretty entertaining. I believe she's Hungarian. She's a Hungarian art dealer, and she was wanting to what I think it was this was around when The Disaster Artist came out, and I think she was wanting to do something like that, but with the making of Grizzly 2. Because there is material to do a movie like that for Grizzly 2. There is. You would have a lot to work with them, with all this weird stuff going on behind the scenes, and they had to leave the country and all this. No, you could absolutely write a dark comedy out of making Grizzly 2. So she approached me about writing this treatment for this kind of making of movie thing of Grizzly 2. And we talked a bunch of times, and she was fun to talk to. She was nice, and she it didn't get far enough into it to where, well, one, it was never anything that was written. It was always just kind of bouncing ideas back and forth, and I was never 100% sure if it would end up being a mockumentary, because at one point she was talking about actually having someone in a bear suit talking. It's interview footage or something, or the bear talks in this story. I didn't know if it would be a narrative or a mockumentary or something, or maybe kind of both. And the whole time I was thinking I can work with this. You give me some ingredients, I'll put it all in the pot. I'm not saying it'll come out tasting good. I'm saying I'll give you the best of the ingredients that you give to me. So eventually, I guess she just never did a project like that, because it wasn't that long after that the completed Grizzly 2 came out, and I saw it, and I kind of like the work print better, honestly. But if she would ever want to get back in touch again, do some Grizzly 2 project or something, I'd be game. I would. This is a person who wanted to do this wacky grizzly movie in Hungary, and with a pretty big name cast about a bear that goes crazy and kills people at a concert. So yes, she's an entertaining person to talk to. And she was nice. Okay. I think I got a couple other super chats in here. This is from Bronson Wright Wolf, who says, if you listen to Ozzy Osbourne, what's your favorite song of his to listen to on Halloween? I know like a couple of his songs. The songs of his that everybody knows. Paranoid. I know that one. Like, I listen to... I like some metal. Of course I do. But, like, around Halloween... I mean, you guys know me. You know I'm like a synthwave guy, a disco guy. That's oldies, like, Golden Girl groups from back in the day. A lot of pop bands of the mid-late 60s, like The Association, The Grassroots, stuff like that. All of those are kind of like what I typically listen to on like a given day. So come Halloween season, what do I have on usually? I have on some Bobby Boris Pickett or something like that. Talked to him briefly one time. Bobby Boris Pickett, who did the Monster Mash. Here's my story on that. So it's not much of a story. It was this is back when I was a DJ, and it's Bobby Boris Pickett. So he would do like I don't even know if he's still around, honestly, but he would do like bumper readings for different radio stations. Like, does Bobby Boris Pickett have a happy Halloween? Well, I hope he would do more than that. He would do his voice and if you want the one place to do the Monster Mash, listen to Cool 101.9, something like that. So, we would reach out to him to like have him record a couple of things. And and when we did one year, he's on the phone and he was like kind of mad. He goes, oh, you people are always calling me this time of year. And me and my buddy Kyle, we were both DJs, afterwards we were both like, he gave the number to us. We were supposed to call him. It wasn't us just calling him out of the blue. Yeah, you're Bobby Boris Pickett. You've got to expect Halloween season, you might get a phone call or two. Especially if it's scheduled. That was like 20 years ago. Okay, I think that was the last of the super chat questions I got. Well, we can go ahead and call it. Oh, there's one more. Bronson Wright Wolf again says Ozzy Osbourne's picture from Trick or Treat is in Little Nicky's room. Oh, really? His picture in Trick or Treat is in the Adam Sandler movie? I actually never saw that movie. It's the same picture on that DVD cover of him and Gene Simmons together. That's right, I did do an episode on Trick or Treat. I forget the episodes I do now. I'm like, did I do one on that Trick or Treat, or the anthology Trick or Treat, or the comedy from the early 80s, or Tricks or Treats, I think is what it's called, the one with the parody movie with David Carradine. All right, well that's been fun. Only one movie to talk about this time, but it's okay. We had some popcorn, talked about Grizzlies, had some soda, did the Talks Box too. So go over to patreon.com/thecinemasnob, where you can vote on Left Behind 2, Bikini Island, 5 Minutes to Live. What's it called? The Johnny Cash one that's got 5 and live in the title, and the Lamberto Bava movie, Demons. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Be sure to check out our Snob episode that I posted yesterday as well. That's on Michaela Suave's Stage Fright. I'll be back most likely Friday. We got a review. It'll either be Friday or Saturday. I'm thinking Friday. It'll be for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'll be reviewing that. There's also a rom-com coming out called, this might not be narrowing it down, I think it's got love in the title. I'm not even being a smart ass right now. I actually can't remember the name of it, but I think it's got love in the title. Love Again? Is that what it's called? It's something about someone's spouse dies and he's texting her, and then he falls in love with whoever gets the phone number after. I think something like that. It's a very rom-com-y type plot. Sounds like something you add Christmas to it to be on Hallmark. I'm being a total smart ass right now. For all I know, this movie will be perfectly fine. I'm going to try to go see that after I go see Guardians. If I'm awake enough. Guardians is like a 2.5 hour movie. All right. Thanks a bunch for watching, everyone. Subscribe to our channel today. Click the notification bell so you'll get the alerts whenever we go live. And have a great week.
Everybody come join the party.